about 5 a.m. in the morning, thereabouts, my mom just came to wake me up. She tapped me and she did like this. And I followed her outside the room. And the next thing, she started beating me. She beat me. I ran outside. Running outside, she followed me, continued beating me, hitting my head against the wall. It was more like battering me. And I didn't understand what was going on. Why are you beating me? And the next thing, I just noticed that I actually slept with my clothes on. I think the atmosphere in the house.
Experience about her outing she went. In the video, it was made to realize that she was beaten for what she did not do. What she did not do. She was beaten and stripped naked. African parents are the only one who can do that. If you ask me who does that, African parents does that. Most of us who can resonate to it while growing up, like we must have experienced something of such, that you are beaten for what you can't even put a finger on, what you can't even think of you did. I remember while growing up, even if I'm beaten, I'll be asked, what did I do? Can you just for God's sake explain what I did? So having beaten for what she did not do, she decide in her mind that she's going to do it. Yes. As an African child, let me say it that way. I believe most of us would have done that as well. Okay, because I didn't do this, and I was beaten, so I would kukuma do it. Let me kukuma do it, and know that what I was beaten for was actually right. That very action, what did it tell, or what did it teach that child? This is why I always say, let us be intentional and conscious. Be a conscious mother. Be a mother that always make all research and find out that what a child is being punished about is actually what that child did, not otherwise. And mostly African parents confuse discipline with punishment. Discipline, I have always said, is not an act of eating. It's not the act of smashing or spanking. Discipline is the act of inculcating an habit, like an art of trying to put someone into an habit, an art of teaching, giving experiences, giving an example, citing example, physical example, mirroring a particular habit to a child. That is the discipline. You are mirroring it, you are showing it that this is how to do things, this is how it is being done, and this is the way to follow. That is discipline. Just like the act of telling them, okay, it is not good to steal, it is not good to lie. Those ones are examples of discipline. Then what is punishment? Punishment is you eating, causing pain. Causing pain. That is punishment. Eating, causing pain, inflicting pain on an individual, all for you to be able to put them in a particular condition, like in a trembling condition, or a particular condition that will make them fear you. Then that heart of fearing, what does it teach them? It doesn't inculcate that habit. It's not even going to make them continue that habit. They are going to only continue that habit in your present. Then what about your absent? What will happen in your absence? That is why I still always say it. Parents, learn to discipline a child in the right way. This particular person was beaten for what she did not do. I can resonate to it. I know of someone that was actually beaten for nothing. Eventually, they knew that what she was beaten for, she did not do it, but nobody apologized to her. And still, everything went ahead as normal. then what do you think that child, or what do you think will be going on in the mind of that child? I was actually beaten for what I did not do. What compassion are you teaching such child? You are not teaching that child that you have to be empathetic. You did not teach the child about compassion. You did not teach the child that you have to take responsibility of your actions. Once you are in, once you make a mistake, you definitely ask for forgiveness, or you definitely look for a way of correcting such mistake and apologize. But no, African parents will not do that. It is high time we stand up. It is high time we relearn. It is high time we unlearn such habits. It is high time we know that parenting and motherhood, it's a journey that is being placed in our hands. We are just there for a particular moment. Once that child got to a certain year or a particular age, you no longer have access. It is the time frame which they are still with you that you can still be a boss over them. And that is the only time you will have to be able to gain their hearts and to make sure these people or these children are still going to have you in heart. And that time is when you can only inculcate the good values that you have within you to them. The Bible said, train up a child in a way he should go, and when they grow up, they will not depart from it. Not force. Even the Bible that said we should use rod, it is just an example. It is just a way of trying to analyze something, not physical rod. And even if you are using physical rod, use it wisely. Use it wisely. Not just beating a child for no reason. Parents, we need to be conscious. We need to be intentional. We need to wise up. We need to know what we are doing as a child, as a parent. Most of our actions as parents are what actually force the children into doing what they are not supposed to do. They are what actually push them, like, okay, I was beaten for this reason, so let me do it. Our disciplinary actions are what pull them into a way that they never thought they would be. They are what actually derail them from the usual culture, the usual way they have been going. Which is why we have to look for a way of making sure our disciplinary actions are not something that would derail those children. What measures are you taking in disciplining your child? What measures are you using? Is it a method that will actually still pull them back, push them away from you, or still pull them or push them back into what you are trying to deliver them from? Them back into what you are trying to cut away from their hands. Parents, we need to be so careful. We need to be conscious and intentional. We need to know what we want in these children. The power that God has given and bestowed to us as a parent have to be used effectively in a good way, not just to inflict pain or to make them feel subdued under you. Your children is not supposed to be who you envision them to be. Your child is supposed to be exactly who they are. It is just our job to guide them. Just your job to direct them, not to change them. Not to change them for whatsoever reason. Ours is just to guide them, direct them on what to do, not to change them. I see many parents look for a way of changing their child, the personality of their child, the inbuilt that God has actually built in them, changing it. How on earth, even you as an adult that you are you perfect? Do you see yourself perfect? Then how would you expect a child to be very perfect? Parents, we need to be conscious. Like I always say, parenting is supposed to be intentional. is supposed to be something conscious about, especially motherhood. What's that look on your child's face when they spot you in the middle of a crowd? What's that look? Those are the little tiniest moments, tiniest yet most powerful moments of reassurance that you are doing a great job, or otherwise. If you're doing a great job, you know. If you are sighted in the crowd, did they smile at you? Or just look so dull? Or so shocked? Or so scared? Be an intentional parent. Know what you want to see in your children. Know what you want to act. How would they feel when sighting you from above? Catch here.